What's up? You're off in God's country with Reid
and Dan Isbell,
also known as the Brothers Hunt, where we take a weekly drive to the intersection of country music and the great outdoors. Two things that go together like Little League, baseball, and sports, and rival dads.
Or motorcycles and tattoos. Produced by MeatEater and iHeart Podcasts.
We sat down with BG Nation himself, Mr. Brantley Gilbert, and that dude is awesome.
Man, you know, I met him
He's
a long
awesome.
time ago, and completely different dude today.
He talks about it, man. He talks about the transformation that he went through, becoming a husband and a dad, and two things that he never thought he was going to be.
Getting sober, and great singer, man. Inspirational dude. Great storyteller. I mean, he was great. It was great.
I love when a guy like that, like when you look at him and his tattoos and the roughness of who Brantley Gilbert is, to talk about his faith and to talk about being a husband and a dad and like being vulnerable.
He talks about his kids a lot.
Man, yeah. Well, I mean, you can tell that's the most important thing in his life now.
Sure.
And for a long time, other things were.
Yeah, alcohol and
yeah, man,
tons of stuff. We get into some of it. It's pretty fun. This was a fun one.
It was a great one. Thank you, Brantley, for coming on and hanging out with us.
And thank you for listening.
Thank you for lissing to God's
sure
Country
smash
Podcast.
That subscribe and
follow
like
the follow
and
on follows.
Like things.
TikTok and follow us.
TikTok.
We love y'all. Thanks for hanging out. Back at it. We have had an awesome podcast before the cameras even turned on with my guy. Dude, thanks for coming out and hanging with us. We got a big deer hunting, tattooed dadding, about to have another one.
Come on.
Racking up more than 8.3 billion career streams.
Damn,
billion with a B.
With a B.
Back-to-back platinum albums and 7 #1 hits, including RIAA 7-time platinum certified Bottoms Up. Country must be countrywide. You don't know her like I do. One hell of a name, man. What Happens in a Small Town with Lindsay L. Penned the watershed hit Jason Aldean's 4-time platinum country rap game changer, Dirt Road Anthem. We've got Mr. BG Nation himself out in God's country.
What's going on, baby?
Let's go.
You make me feel like I need a baseball card.
Dang, dude,
you got a statue.
That intro of you gave me chill bumps.
I'm saying, yeah, we had everything but the Stone Cold Steve Austin intro music, bro.
Just smashing beers.
Were you a wrestling guy? Did you grow up watching that stuff?
When he was done, I was done a little bit, but you know,
Dude,
we
we're
went and
the
did
same age.
WrestleMania not long ago. We sang America the Beautiful, and it was awful. Oh, it was terrible. We butchered it. Yeah, Twitter ate us alive. Spit out the bone. It was rough.
My guy was Goldberg. That was my dude.
Did you know he has a son playing college football?
Well, dude, he played in the.
And his last name is, the dude's got like Goldberg on his jersey, and I was like,
Goldberg played in the league.
I know.
Yeah, he's like a fullback. And
He's
he
a
like wore the
Beast.
collar, like the Mike Allstott.
Yeah, dude.
Collar, dude.
Man, that collar was cool.
My senior year, I wore a neck roll.
So did I.
You look like a neck roll
did
guy.
I played quarterback.
Had to, man. You were a quarterback?
Yeah, I had to. My senior year, we had nobody else throw the ball.
You were a
You're
neck
a
roll as a
quarterback with a
quarterback.
neck roll.
That's an
Okay.
intimidating ass quarterback.
I was a linebacker or a defensive end, so
Nice.
it kind of made sense. But I've never seen a quarterback wear a neck roll.
Dude, you
terrible
roll up,
idea.
hey, you see the guy run out the tunnel, and then you see the guy with the horse, and you're like, oh, that's a bad son of a bitch right there. And then he goes over and starts throwing dimes. You're like, oh, what's going on around here, man?
We didn't throw the ball. We didn't have no line. Bro, it was like, there was no 3-step drop in offense. It was like snap, run straight backwards and see if you can make something happen.
I like
feel
it.
that.
It was rough.
Yeah, I feel that.
I played both sides of the ball. I graduated with 66 people, so it was tiny.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you regret playing football?
Hell no.
You don't.
No, I'd lace them up one more time.
Really?
Yeah, but that'd be about it. I wouldn't be able to lace anything
probably all
up
it take.
ever again. I wouldn't be able to lace my boots up.
I don't even know if I could bend over to lace them up at this time. I get somebody else to lace them up for me, though.
Let me ask you this, because most guys that played football don't regret playing football, but some of them are hesitant to let their boy play football.
Yeah.
Or how do you feel about that?
Man, with both my kids, man, I'm careful about putting too much pressure on them to do something. I don't want to push them away from it. Sure. Now, if he comes to me and he says he wants to play football, then he's got to finish the season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Ain't
And
no
so,
quitting.
as long as we make him aware of that, you know, hey, dude, if you start something, you're going to finish it. So you get out there and you get whipped on a little bit and you ain't feeling it, you just going to have to push through. So he opted for 8U baseball.
Nothing wrong with
That's
that.
contact. Yeah.
Dude, he had his first scorekeeper game the other day with an umpire. And he went 2 for 3. We had some things to work on in the field.
Hey, 2 for 3, man. That ain't bad.
And he scored for both times he got on base, and they won 12-11. I was
Let's
the
go.
happiest dad either.
Dude.
That's a good day.
That's
That's,
awesome,
a good day at the plate. Good day
I
on the
showed
diamond.
up. I didn't even know they were keeping score. I just thought we was going to watch them herd cats like we have for the
Sure.
last several years.
Yeah.
And, dude, I mean, before the game started, the other team's warming up, and the parents from the other side were hollering and screaming. I was ready to fight everybody. By the time I got out there.
Dude, I keep thinking about how I'm going to be in that scenario. Because my little guy's 2, so I got, and my girl's 4. But she played T-ball, and I was getting mad at the coaches. I was like, man, y'all ain't teaching them nothing. You know, just kind of like walking them through the thing. I'm like, man, teach her how to get down on the ball. Like,
Put your glove down.
Yeah, what are we doing here, man?
Like, what, Dad?
This is a waste of money and time.
Quit playing in the dirt.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's how our dad was. He coached all of our teams, man, and we didn't play around, dude.
Oh, ain't no doubt, man. We was in Saturday morning, son, before the crack of dawn. We was in that side yard taking BP, you know, with
salt
them
and
little
pepper,
golf
baby.
balls. He'd be pitching them things, and we'd be learning how to hit those.
Yeah.
He
It's the real
did
deal.
try football, and man, there was a boy from another team, big old boy from another team, that went to block him a couple times and knock him down, and he got right back up and went after him and got knocked down again. I was proud of that.
Yeah.
But dude, he got knocked down one time and laughed, and I tried my best to hold it, and we got about maybe an eighth of a mile up the road from the field. And I stopped the truck and pulled it over, and we had to come to Jesus. I was like, hey, dude, never in your life you going to get knocked down and laugh about it. That ain't no laughing matter. It means you lost.
Yeah.
And you're vulnerable, and bad things happen on the ground.
Sure.
Get your ass up.
That's
That
true.
ain't no laughing matter.
That's true, man. It's true.
Yeah, you got to get mad when you get knocked down.
And I feel like that's kind of a parallel for life. You know what I mean? Like even in Nashville or pursuing a dream or trying to chase anything down, like, bro, you got to get back up, man.
Absolutely.
It
You
can't
gotta
be
know,
funny.
You got to know what's going to happen, and it's going to continue to happen.
Yeah.
But you just got to. It's what you do after the fact.
Yeah, Get up with a, don't just get up. That's a little bit of the battle. Get up with a purpose.
Yeah,
you know what I
man.
mean? And that purpose may be, hey, I ran into that brick wall 4 times, so maybe I need to work around that brick wall.
Yeah.
I need to figure out how to not
I
run
need to get out of that boy's way. You know what I'm saying?
I did not expect you to say that. I thought you were going to say, yeah, so you might knock it down on the 5th time.
That's
I
right.
said, nah, man, you might need to circumvent that
absolutely.
wall. Let's just
Climb that
good
thing.
logical
Hop,
sense.
throw a leg over and hop over it.
Do something illegal. You know what I mean?
I mean,
If
man,
you ain't
get
cheating,
around
you
that
cheating
wall.
yourself.
If you can get away with it.
Get around that wall.
For whatever you got to do. Don't get knocked over by that wall again.
Hit him in the knees. That's right.
Sorry, I'm supposed to play What You Mad At.
That's right.
I forgot we had this thing.
BG, we do a little thing called What You Mad At. We may have a little ditty to.
How much time you got, buddy?
What you mad at? Just tell us what it is, what you mad at.
I slowed it down.
Is it your in-laws' kids? Might be your boss man or your neighbor's cat. Just tell us what you're mad at. You know, just a little thing, dude. We do.
If you want to put that on hold, you can.
You know what? I got a couple holes on this next album.
Okay.
That fit in pretty well. Speaking of cats,
You mad at cats?
no.
No.
But what did you say all that stuff?
About them eating cats?
Yeah.
I ain't seen it, but I did watch that debate.
Bro, I'll tell you the one I saw. It was something.
Is that
about-
real?
I'll tell you the one I saw.
It's
I'll tell you the one I
look
saw.
fake.
It was not a cat, but it was a seagull that somebody had
What?
caught and was holding it. And the bottom of it said, "No bird soup for you, buddy." And it was a girl went up to him. It's like, "What are you doing with that bird?" And he was,
Bird soup for
I
you.
saw
swear.
that one too.
You saw that?
It's funny.
dude, it's crazy.
Are we talking about like bath salts eating pets? What's happening here? Why
No,
they-
we're talking about people coming across the border and eating weird shit. I'm talking about eating our pets, eating our pond ducks.
You
Dude,
come
they
after
start
pond ducks, you done
Hey,
something.
you come after my whitetail, bro.
Oh, no.
They start eating whitetail.
Dude, why would you not? If
Yeah.
you went into some new country, would you eat pond ducks or a big fat doe on the side of the road?
I want to know how you caught a seagull.
Me too.
My kids
Wasn't it a
say
seagull?
some bitches
Wasn't it a
into me.
seagull?
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't it a
And the
seagull?
woman took it, but she said, it's not your bird.
Yeah.
And she walked off. She said, I know how to hold the bird. And she obviously did, because
He didn't wanna
halfway
give it
down
to
the
her.
beach, she's talking about, I know you're probably scared too. And she's like petting the bird. And I was like, I don't really talk to him all that much.
Me
but
neither.
I'm glad she rescued that one.
Same, man. That's how I felt. I was like, good on the bird, man.
And that dude was pissed too.
Pissed.
Oh, no, I'm hungry.
He didn't want to give the bird. Like he was holding it by the
for real.
I mean, that's what I saw.
Yeah, and I saw one where they pulled up on this woman.
He said, speaking
while
of
she
cats.
while she was eating a cat. And
Pulled
he's
up
like,
on
and the
her.
first, somebody sent me, because I don't have social media. I don't have none of my passwords. I
love it.
I'm a liability. And I've
Indeed.
never seen we'll get to that. But it sent me a video. I opened it, and it's this cop asking this lady, he said, did you eat that cat? And I was like, what? I was rolling. There was no shock factor to it.
Yeah, that's
It's
a question.
She just looked at me and said, do your mouth like
No way.
Let me see.
and she did like that. And he said, maybe you have hair in your mouth.
Oh,
What is happening, bro?
dude.
Dude, I was rolling.
I mean, Trump said he did say it.
Oh, and they jumped all over him for it.
Yeah.
They jumped all over him for it.
I know, man.
Mr. Trump, there wasn't we don't have
No, they
any-
said we've confirmed.
Yeah, we've confirmed with Springfield, Ohio, that there has not been any pet eaten.
And
he was like, he said, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, he said, we'll see. Get on TikTok, apparently.
I guess we will. I did see, and I hadn't seen any of that until the next day.
Damn.
Oh,
Did
bro.
you eat that cat?
There was a seagull.
He goes and talks to his partner. He was like, man, she that cat up. He said, this is. The other cop's like, what? He's like, she ate the cat. He said, pat the cat up.
This is not a drill. She is eating a cat.
Oh
my
hey, all
goodness.
right. Out of all the gas station chicken and Chinese buffets that we've eaten in our life, do you think there's any chance that we've eaten something we didn't know we were eating?
1,000%.
Yeah,
There's no way.
I
Because
think
bro,
so,
we've
too.
been eating we've eaten some Chinese buffets.
I've been
in
eating
some
chicken.
rough
I've been eating
spots,
chicken on a stick my whole life,
Same.
man. I knew I've been eating probably kitty on a stick or something.
Consistency's different every time.
Yeah, lab on a stick or something. Probably happened at
Meow on a
one of the
stick.
times.
We had to own a Mexican restaurant down there trying to buy our goats. And we ain't got many left. Goats didn't do too well this year in the winter. I'm a new goat farmer.
Drought.
I don't really know what to do with them. Bro, it was so bad that,
They'll eat everything. They'll eat.
oh, God. But
Wait, we're talking about goats.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
they all got pregnant, and I had some guys there working. We're building a house, and my builder called me and he said, hey, man, there's a goat out here laying on the ground hollering. And I had my son with me. So I was like, it's probably not something he needs to see,
Yeah.
but maybe it is. So we
Yeah.
pulled over there, and this goat's laying on the ground crying, just hollering. So I get out, and the first thing I think is that maybe she's breached.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I go in there trying to, I put me a glove on, and
Yes,
went on
sir.
there trying to reach around, and ended up calling the vet. And we took the goat to the vet's office because I gave my son a choice. I said, listen, man, this goat's really sick. Oh, sorry, that was at the vet showed up to the farm.
Okay.
And she tells me that the goat just got cold and went in the shop.
What?
So I've been digging around.
This goat's like, what are you doing? Hey man,
That was like, it's
I'm cold.
I just need a blanket.
get out my ass. Yeah, it was bad. And my son, so the vet was like, she's probably not gonna make it. Like, we can take her and try to, but the minute she gets cold again, she's in bad shape. I tell my son that. And I was like, this is gonna be your first choice. I said, now, we don't want animals to suffer.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So the chances are she's not gonna recover.
Right.
And we're gonna spend a little money keeping her for 3 or 4 nights. I said, or the other way is, we make sure she doesn't suffer anymore, and
Right.
we do our best to take care of the rest
Dude,
of
which
it.
is a great lesson. That's a learning thing right there for the son.
Yeah. And you saw, dude, my son's a bleeding heart. Like, he's such a sweet kid. He was like, let's take it to the vet.
You're like, yeah, they went $600.
Oh, well, there we go.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly $600.
Hey,
Been there, done that.
been
So
there,
the goat
bro.
got to spend 3 nights at the goat Ritz, and And then the first day it got back was deader than I am right now. But we had one that looked just like it. So we threw that one in the back, took the gut pile. And
everybody's good.
Like, that's the goat I saved. Every goat he sees, he thinks is the one he saved.
Hey, yeah. That reminds me of a story,
We'll cross that bridge on down the road.
Yeah, when we were young, my daddy, we rabbit hunted. That's kind of like our introduction to the outdoors was rabbit hunting. And my big whitetail family and all that stuff. But we did a ton of rabbit hunting. So we had rabbit dogs. And when they would get older, we just kind of take the older ones that couldn't keep up with the pack. We would just like make them pets. And so we had one called, his name was Bosco. And at night, he'd run out into the bottoms and chase rabbits like old times, and he'd come back in the morning just sweating and time of his life. Well, one time he got caught up in some barbed wire down there, and we had to take him to the vet, and he got a leg amputated. So he was a 3-legged beagle that just hung out around our house. So me and my sister, my daddy wasn't, I don't think Mama was there, but we got a younger sister.
This is a funny
we got there's Courtney, who's our oldest sister, and then Dan, and then me, and then Lindsay. We're all 4 years apart. So me and my younger sister were at home, and I'm inside, and she's outside playing, and she all of a sudden busts through the door, just running. Reid. And I was like, what? She's like, I was outside, and I was throwing the tennis ball with Bosco, and somehow he swallowed it. And I was like, what? I was like, I swallowed a tennis ball. She was like, he swallowed the whole thing into his throat.
How old were y'all? Y'all were pretty young.
I mean, yeah, I was probably 10, so she's probably 6. I might have been a little bit older. I was like, swallowed a tennis. She was like, he swallowed the whole thing. I don't know what to do. So I was like, oh my gosh, we got to make this dog throw up. That's my first thought. We got to make this dog throw up. So I run. I don't know who I called or got a hold of somebody. I was like, hey, I got to make this dog throw up because he swallowed a tennis ball.
There was a dude that went to our church that was a vet.
That's right.
I can't remember his name.
That's right. Jody.
Yep.
So he was like, I called Mr. Jody, and I was like, hey man,
he was our neighbor.
How do I get, he was like, if you got some like hydrogen peroxide, just get you some hydrogen peroxide, pour down the dog's throat, and he'll throw up anything that's in his throat. So I was like, all right.
So Bosco's like, we'll throw your leg.
So I get Bosco. He's out there just, dude.
Wait, he's already down a leg?
and he don't, dude, I go out there and Bosco's like this. Like he's looking at me like, and I was like, all right, man, I got to pour this hydrogen peroxide down your throat. You got to throw up this tennis ball. So I get him and hold him up, and he's got his mouth open, and I'm pouring hydrogen peroxide right down his throat.
Because you're freaking out.
Yeah, I'm freaking out.
Thinking he's going to choke.
And that dog's all over the yard throwing up. And I'm like, Lindsay, where's this tennis ball? She's like, it's in there, Reid, keep pouring it. So we keep pouring it down his throat, dude. He keeps throwing it. He throws up everything. And I'm like, Lindsay, where were you playing? She was like, in the bushes. She was like, right there is where, there's a tennis ball. And Bosco's over here just going. he threw up for the next. I was sitting there, man, for the next 2 hours. I sat there just patting his back while he was throwing up. I was like, that's my bad, man. That's my bad, dog. Putting this dog through hell for nothing, dude. For three-legged dog. Yeah, putting this three-legged beagle through hell. All right, let me tell you what I'm mad at.
All right. Oh, geez. Yeah, I forgot.
I'm mad at people who talk on the phone in public really loud.
Ooh, like on speakerphone?
Yes, or like the one. Somebody back here do that? Did you get it?
I do from time to time.
Well, let me tell you. We were flying back from Mexico the other day and sat in front of somebody that was talking mad, and they were like wanted people to hear them talking.
Oh, shit. I can't stand that.
And it absolutely flew all over me and Jordan. And just like saying stuff about their sex life and on the plane, dude. And then like it's tight quarters, on a plane, and just like blatantly loud so you could hear them and have the shock factor.
Yeah.
It drove me crazy. I couldn't stand it.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I was at, Lucky Lad. Do y'all know what Lucky Lad is? So down south of town where we live, there's a farm called Lucky Lad, and they got like giant. You take your kids, pay $20. There's big slides and all this stuff.
A little pet zoo and stuff.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's
you
cool.
should take kids there.
It's like a farm.
You can kind of hide out there, honestly.
Amusement park.
Like, yeah, you can kind of hide out. So anyway, we took our our whole clan there and just let them play for a day, and. Actually, I'm going to have to piggyback that story because I saw Jordan Davis there when a really funny thing happened. But anyway, so this guy has got one of those earpieces in, but he had long hair, so I didn't see the earpiece. So everybody's standing around like watching their kids play, and he's like, "What's up, man?" And I was like, "What's up, dude?" He's like, "Good, man. How are you?" I was like, I'm fine, man. You just got your kids out? He was like, so what'd you sell it for? And I was like, this is talking to me. And he was not. He had an earpiece in and I couldn't even, he was just talking.
He wasn't even listening to you. He was having a conversation.
But he was looking like, if you're me, he was looking like this. Like just like hereish, not just in my eyes, you know? Yeah. So fast forward, they got this huge corn bin, right? I don't think Jordan would get mad at me telling you this. So I saw Jordan Davis there. What's up, dude? Good to see you. Yeah. Oh man, kids are crazy. Holler at me. Let's get together. Let's go duck hunting, blah, blah, real fast, you know? But he has, I think he's got 3 kids. We have 3 kids. They were, I mean, just chunking food at goats, and it's nuts, right? So we didn't have time to talk. So anyway, both of our kids simultaneously end up in this giant, literally the size of this room with like a canopy top over it, probably mid, maybe a little bit higher than your ankle, full of corn. They're all playing in the corn. They're throwing all these. There's like
it's like a corn pit. It's like a sand pit, but a corn pit. Yeah, you can sit
there's
in
like
there. And
30 kids.
They've got dump trucks in there and shovels and stuff like that.
So
it's country. It's super country.
Yeah, my son and Jordan's son are about the same age. Like he might actually even his little boy might be a little younger. So they're all just like toddling around in there, you know. Well, I see his son walk from the designated corner that Jordan had told him to stay in and go straight to a kid that had a little like Tonka truck. Yeah. And so the kid has his hand on it, but he stopped playing with it. So Jordan's boy just reaches down and gets the thing. And as soon as he does, dude, this dad comes out of the back that we didn't even see and was like, hey, son, he was playing with that. Son, give that back to him. You did nothing wrong, Jonah. You did nothing wrong. And super. And so as soon as it happened, I'm like, I'm like eating the popcorn. Like, well, how's this going to go?
Like, I know Jordan.
So I look over at Jordan, and he's got his hat on, and I can see him like I could see the shift happen, you know. So I'm like, what are we finna do here? You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's my boy.
So he walks over. He's like, hey, he's talking to his son. I don't want to say his son's name. He might not want me to, but he's like, hey, like he was playing with that. Let's trade it out. And the dad was like, he was playing with that first, and Jordan was like, I got it. Mm-hmm. And so I saw it get under his skin a little bit, you know. And this is my favorite thing to do is like provoke stuff, you know. And so I walk around the corn pit as we're leaving, and I was like, hey, man. I was like, Pop's a little aggressive, wasn't he? He was like, I know, I thought the same thing. He was a little aggressive. I was like, hey, let him know we thicker than he thinks you are out here today. You know, he's like, I might do that, man. I was like, that'd be the greatest headline ever. Like, Jordan Davis and Isbell.
Jordan Davis whoops dad's ass in corn pit. I'm around the Nashville.
30 kids.
Slamming corn. Wow. All the kids like, Daddy, quit it, Daddy.
Everybody's crying. He was
Get your mom, Jonah. Get your mom.
Look, here's what I guess the point I'm trying to make, because I guess I need to wrap that up. It's like, dude, kids are going to be kids, but they don't know what they're doing, bro. They don't know what they're doing. Like, you ain't got to be rival dad. You can be cool dad and just be like, it's all good, man. Let him have the thing. Because the kid wasn't even crying. He wasn't even making a scene. It was just the rival dad, dude.
Sure. Yeah.
It was really funny. I sent a picture to Jacob of Jordan, and I said, man, you need to come get your boy. He finna whoop some 40-year-old man's ass.
Get kicked out of Lucky Lad down here. Lifetime ban.
Brantley, what are you mad at? You mad at anything?
Bro, I'm mad at everybody.
Yeah, man.
Everything, everybody. I'm 39, about to turn 40. And I think I'm just into the crotchety old man phase of life.
Beautiful.
I feel like I'm a year away from screaming at kids for driving too fast.
Mm-hmm. I'm already doing it. You are, because I'm 40 and I'm doing it. Okay. I mean, I live a quarter mile off the road. Every time somebody flies by there, I'm like, slow down! They can't even hear me back in there. You know what I mean?
We're going to fight like hell in the street. You do it again.
That's right.
I'll tell you, I'm mad at that. And then, dude, you know what was crazy? I told you, my son had his first 8U game where they kept score and had an umpire. And man, the other team's parents, like while they were warming up, were already getting gassed up.
Like chipping?
And everything. Oh, Bo, I'm telling you. At one point, our team hit a ball that hit third base. Fair ball. 10 out of 10 times.
Yep, fair.
No matter what.
That's inside. Yep.
They got to arguing and fussing at the umpire. And this kid that I went to school with goes to the umpire at a 6 to 8 year old ball game.
6 to 8?
Raising hell.
Oh my God.
And I finally walked up to the fence. I said, hey, bud, these kids 6 to 8 years old. This ain't necessarily putting on a good example. So how about you don't make me double down on that? Because you don't go take your ass to the dugout.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to DDT your ass on the pitchers, man.
Amen.
And the referee, the umpire looked at me and kind of smiled.
Like what he said.
So he said, we can't do that. No, we can't say that loud. I was like, I'm
Too late. Too late. I fixed the problem.
It was funny. I thought I was being funny, and the umpire walked in. I said, how much for the win? And he looked at me like serious as hell. And a 6 to 8 year old game, like, dude, I had no idea shit was that serious.
He's like $60 to get it.
Yeah, all day
He's
long.
like, you can leave it right there. And he was joking around. He finally got to where he joked around with me. But dude, I had no idea 6 to 8 year old ball was like that. I thought it was just gonna sit there and watch them play ball. You know,
dog. It's 2024, man. Them parents is wild now.
So I guess the consensus is parents they need to calm down a little bit.
Yeah, calm it down a little bit.
Calm down a little bit, dude.
Let your kids fight some shit out.
Yeah, man.
Now,
for sure.
Now, if they're playing in college ball and they're going for a national championship or something, get riled up.
Let's clear the benches, and the stands, and fight on the pitches.
That's right. That's right.
Are your kids? Do they fight each other?
Yeah.
Okay, mine. This just started happening in my life because I got a 4-year-old little girl, 2-year-old little boy. Dude, my boy, like he will pull her hair and punch her in the mouth, dude. And she's like, "Daddy," I'm like, "Hey, man, knock him out, dude. Yeah. Knock him out." And my wife's like, "Hey, he's 2." I was like, "Yeah, great time to learn." Like, and so she finally yesterday, we were on the porch. He snatched something out of her hand. She looked at me. I was like, she was like, he was like,
Liza did.
Yeah, he got mad, hit her back. She looked at me. I was like,
get him.
Fire him up.
Ding, ding, ding. Round one.
This time it hurt him a little bit. He was like,
yeah.
And he swiped it again. And she was like, I was like,
is he the younger one?
Yeah. Little pump.
The boys are different, man. I got a 1-year-old boy and a 2-year-old little girl. And my boy is just now to the point where he's trying, like he's walking a little bit, like he's figuring it out, and you can see him like go. And Jordan, I guess it was yesterday, we were sitting there and we have like these glass things on which is probably not smart as parents. We should probably move them, but we got some glass things up on the fireplace, and he likes to open the door of them and shut it, and he can pull that thing over.
They just like to open doors, dude. Yeah.
So Jordan kept going, "No, Oak. No, sir. No, sir." And he'd like reach for it and she'd say no. And he'd look at her like this. And
I know they'll do that.
He'd start reaching again. And
they will press you, man.
If you tell Griffin at that age, she would just go do something else.
Yeah.
But he would look at her like, what you
gonna
say?
What you gonna do?
And he's like, let's see. And he'd go reach for it. She'd go, no. And dude, she did that 3 or 4 times. And he sat back one time, went, ah! And hit her on the leg. And I was like, hey, man.
That's my wife, bro.
Yeah, dude. Hey, man.
He's like one.
Baby, your mama.
That's the first time we've ever seen like that male aggression take over.
It's
where he was like,
deal,
no,
dude.
I want to do this.
It's a different deal, man.
Dude, I don't know where my son got it, but he is hard on his sleeve. Like, and I know he's my boy, but like really, when I say both sides of his family are pretty rough. You know what I mean? Like,
he gets it honest.
We're pretty mean, I mean, there's a bunch of rattlesnakes in this tree.
You used to be mean. I feel like you were meaner.
Yeah.
When I met you, you were mean, dude. Now you're like my guy.
He's
love
all
you
softy dad, dude.
I love him now, dude. I met you back in the day. We played kind of the same circuit. I had a band called Soul Gravy, and we were playing the same Southeastern circuit down there in Mississippi State and Ole Miss and Athens and all that stuff. Man, I've seen you not be nice, dude.
Well, it was different,
It was different. It was
we
very
had
different.
to change some things. Before I quit drinking, it wasn't just me. It was a bad deal. It was a bad deal. We turned over some leaves.
Yeah, we have.
So he's got it. He does have some grit. Like if he gets mad, and I'm glad he's got that gear, but it's not his predominant, like by nature, go to.
Yeah, you gotta maintain that gear. You can't let it get out of control. You want him to have it. I love that my boy's getting mad and has a fight in him.
Absolutely.
I just want him to be able to control it and turn it down when he needs to, and turn it up if he needs to.
Bro.
I'm just saying
he's literally
for the rest of his life, though, is what I'm.
Absolutely, man. I tell you too. I mean, it's early, but the society these days is telling boys.
Amen.
The opposite. You don't need to do that.
Amen. Dude.
And I get that violence is bad, this, that, and other, but
no, man.
The capacity to do violence at some point in his life is necessary if he wants to protect his wife and his kids one day.
Amen.
I want to instill that in him. So I wish he had a little bit more of it. But my daughter, No, it's the younger one.
She's a G.
Bro, she plots on him. When she was a little bitty, dude, I remember one time I walked in the bonus room and her little, there's a little flight of stairs that goes 4 or 5 stairs that goes down to their room.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there playing with some shit, dude, just being sweet as he can be, minding his own business. And I see her little bobblehead coming up the stairs. So I just stepped back.
Attitude already.
Yeah, I just stepped back and I was like, I want to see what my kids do in the wild.
Sure.
Just let them observe them in their natural environment.
Yeah.
Bro, she walked upstairs and when she saw him, she stopped. And that old neck got stiff like that. And he was facing this way. She starts walking around behind him, walks up behind him, cocks back and hits him as hard as she can in the face.
Okay.
Out of nowhere. And he just put his head in his hands like this and started
brutal.
And I said, Bray. And when I did, she looked over at me, and you would think that she would be like, oh,
yeah.
No, she pulled that thing Bernie Mac was talking about.
Double
she
down.
looked me down to my toes, up to my head, like, what
you gonna do about it?
What you about? What you finna do?
What did you do? I'm curious.
Bro, I was like, no, ma'am, we don't do that. And she literally raised her eyebrows and turned and walked off. I don't think she was like 2 or 3 when this happened. She's wild. She's going to start a criminal organization by middle school. We'll be trying to hire my guy. I need y'all to do some work.
They are wild, man. Them kids are wild. Yeah. I mean, it's just like you just see it. Oh, they're the best, man. It's the best and the hardest and the worst and the most awesome, rewarding thing in the world. For sure.
Absolutely, no doubt.
We talk about our kids every time on here, man. Just because it's everybody that's got kids in the same general vicinity of age or older kids that have been there.
We're all going through
the same thing. Yeah, we're all going through the same thing.
I tell you, dude, and especially the people that, your demographic is watching this, I think we got to keep each other in check, man, because there's another side of the world that are raising these kids to be sheep.
Yep,
and victims and
for sure,
dude. And we can't be a part of that.
And it's so easy to fall into that too. To get to wake up in the morning and go, golly, man, everything's against me. It ain't ever going to work. I'm never going to be able to do it. Blah blah. And if you convey that onto your kids, you're teaching them to live like that, man. And I don't want my kids to feel like that. No. I want them to be strong.
Yeah, being a good parent's hard. Like it really is. It's hard.
We say it all the time.
Like you have to work at it, and but it ain't just for. It ain't just saying no to Oak for that glass thing right there. That's when he's 18 and he's trying to make a decision about something. He should do this or shouldn't do this. Yeah. And I want him to think back, not to when he's 1, but to those times.
To that one time when he was 1 year old and he tried to open that glass thing.
I want him to know right and wrong, And,
I just don't think you can cut it off. Like you have to, and that's why I think at 8:30 at night, I feel like I've just been doing 2-a-days back in high school. I'm worn out because I care, right? Like we say this with Luke a whole lot. It's like, dude, if we were parents, this would be so much easier. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't feel like you had to be a good husband or be a good dad. You could just go do whatever you wanted to do, which would be fishing and hunting for us.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
I say that to Cheyenne all the time. I'm like, there's a lot of people out there doing cocaine and chasing whores, man. All I do is deer hunt. That's the only thing you can get mad at me for.
Dude, I've had that conversation.
It could be a lot worse.
It's so true.
All right. Enough dadding. We're good. We're good on dadding.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how you got into, when did you decide, like, music is my thing, it's what I want to do, I've got something to say? Did it start at a young age, or did you kind of come into it? Or
so a lot of my memory from early life is really hazy, so I'm real careful not to talk out of turn. But hear my mama tell it. I used to put on shows for an audience of one. I had a little plastic guitar and a plastic microphone, and she said it was pretty bad, so I believe her.
Yeah.
But I started in church, man. Around the time, long story short, 14 or 15, I found this cover band that played hole in the wall bars and biker joints, biker clubhouses, you name it. And when they'd take a break, I'd get up and do some of my songs. And
were you writing your songs or your covers?
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, always. Well, I, for whatever reason, growing up, the only reason I'd want to learn somebody else's songs was just to get chord progression, see if I could turn it into something more.
Sure. Yeah.
That started at an early age for whatever reason. I think I had one guitar lesson and came home and told my mom the guy was creepy and I didn't have to go back.
Nice.
I don't think he was really creepy. I just think I didn't want to go back.
He probably doesn't listen to this podcast.
Yeah, he asked Mom, his eyes looked like he wanted to touch me and stuff. I was ready to get out of there.
You ain't never going back.
Never, ever.
No, you walked around that corner.
Nailed it. I hope you get a lawsuit. Yeah. But that's terrible. I almost said something real bad. Okay. So after that, I met a guy around the age of 17 named Corey Smith. And I'm sure y'all know Corey.
Yeah, man.
We're from the same hometown.
Oh, wow.
And,
he was on that same circuit.
Oh, yeah.
He had just blown up, had that
21
that
Oh,
blown
yeah,
up.
Is he a little bit older?
He is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And to be completely honest, man, it was the first time I saw it. See, I was under the notion that to make it in music, you had to move to Nashville and have somebody tell you how to dress and what to say, what you could and couldn't do. And I obviously knew that wasn't ever going to work for me because I have an issue with authority.
Yeah,
It's just a problem.
I can't tell.
You don't say.
Never would have known. So it was pretty neat. I was around, and his goal was to sell out the Georgia Theater and to be able to do music for a living independently. And I had never heard of that as a possibility. And that I remember him being able to quit his teaching job and do music full time.
Wow.
Like, I remember it was a big deal. And he came back, he was super stoked. He was like, man, I was able to walk away from my job to concentrate on music. And I thought
how
that
old
was
are
the
you at this
coolest thing
time?
ever. 17, 18.
That's cool to have somebody, to have like somebody kind of.
Especially a guy like that that's like grassroots in it, like doing it the right
He
way.
wasn't radio. He was
like
doing it
building the fan base the right way and playing the circuit and the shows and growing his
that's what we had
the
to
right
do,
fan
man.
that way.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, that college market,
Loyal, dude.
especially then. I think he was in his late 20s. But it was, he keyed into that market and they were loving it, man. And we kind of piggybacked off him for a minute. We followed him around to a bunch of college markets Southeast. And if you played the same circuit, we're talking about
Ricks and Starkville.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, man.
Yeah, I know.
Story about that.
I know. I was probably there.
Oh, God, it was bad. I still dude, it makes me nervous to this day. It was awful. Ricks, but I mean, immediately in Georgia, it was Dahlonega.
Yeah.
And then we had Statesboro.
Yep.
And you had, you could go up to Carrollton and play the college, I think it was off campus bar and grill up there. Mm-hmm. And then, go to Valdosta, hit Mellow Mushroom, and then bounce all the way down to Jacksonville. And I remember him watching doing that, and opening for him, and dude, just kind of watching what he was doing. So his goal kind of became mine. I was like, man, if I could sell out Georgia Theater, that's a long shot for me. That would be awesome. And if I ever could get to a place where I could just play music for a living, I ain't got to worry about doing nothing illegal,
sure.
I was like, that'd be really cool. And that became my goal. And early in my 20s, we did that. And to be completely honest, man, it was never a thing where I sat down and I was like, man, I want to be super rich. I want everybody to know my name. That just wasn't my thing. I wanted to write songs and play them, but on, under my terms and, on a smaller scale.
Sure.
Is what my ambition was not, where we are. But, dude, God bless me with an incredible group of dudes, man. Just throughout my whole career, moving people in and out of my life that made a huge difference and actually gave a about what we were doing. And, man, 20 years later, it's just crazy to say.
Crazy, isn't it?
But 20 years since I released my first album the first time. And, man, I'll be honest with you, like, if you'd have told me then that we'd be sitting here having this conversation, I'd have told you you're crazy.
Really?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Where does that Southern rock inspiration come from?
So, man, my mom and dad had like a box of tapes, right? I'm dating myself right now. But you remember like cassette tapes?
Absolutely.
And, dude, there was everything in there from like praise and worship music to like AC/DC. And, man, I remember I found a Kool and the Gang record one time.
I remember that.
And I beat that tape to death.
Yes, sir.
Man.
I had one of them Walkmans that you could hit and it may skip a little bit, but it'd come right back
It'd stay on, it'd stay on.
Yeah, hit the rewind and pop it, some again.
Dude.
And, dude, I think I jumped the pad slap off a trampoline to that now. But listen to a little bit of everything. So I always, it's been so hard to answer the influence question my entire career because it was like, dude, I feel like I've been influenced by everything I've ever heard.
Same.
Some good, some bad. But man, in there I found a Skinner record. And I remember listening to it and thinking about, man, like this dude saying things that I understand.
Yeah.
like at a young age, really young age.
Absolutely.
You know, and like I said, my memory's really hazy, but I do remember gravitating towards that. And then I heard Simple Man, and it reminded me of my mama, and it just hit home. And that was one of the first times a song outside of a church song
spoke to you like that.
Spoke to me, man. It made me feel something. And my whole career, dude, more than anything, you know, if a song doesn't make me, I've chased songs and tried to write songs that raise your hair, that make you want to do something, that motivates you, that make you feel.
Sure, man.
You know what I mean? Because it's cool to be clever and be entertained, but I want you to feel something. If I never get away with releasing a song that makes you feel something, that's always been my goal. And man, you know, just we kept our head down. The only time I ever stopped to smell the roses, so to speak, in my career, when Countrywide went number one, that was my first number one. And we were having
that song took
party.
over, dude. You remember when that came out? I think I was in college when that popped, and it was like
it was giant,
huge.
We didn't see that coming.
Yeah, it was huge.
It was not my favorite song on that album.
Yeah,
most of the singles I've ever released have been. Matt Label hates when I say this, but have been my least favorite songs on projects. Absolutely,
dude. You can't tell me you didn't like You Don't Know Her Like I Do.
I love that one.
That's my favorite song of yours.
And I wanted One Hell of an Amen bad.
Yeah, that was nice too.
Yeah, that's a good one.
We did like 6 radio tours for that one. But I remember when Countrywide went number one, it was like I was going to go to the back and kind of smell the rose, give myself a chance to kind of soak in the moment. And instead, I got back there and got in my head and ended up calling my manager and telling him I needed to go to rehab. So, like, the one time I stopped smelling roses, I ended up in rehab. So we don't be doing that no more. You know what I mean? No smell the roses for this guy. I'm not going back. I ain't going back. You never take me alive.
Man, you said something there that kind of, I feel like at the core of every. Because I feel like even songwriters are artists in their own right.
Absolutely.
You know,
especially nowadays.
Yeah, and artists are songwriters and all that thing. But like, I feel like at every core, if you break it down, man, all we're trying to do is make somebody, like you said, like feel something like those tunes did for us back in the day.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
our end goal is to move somebody with our thoughts and putting them to words in a guitar or whatever, one and making somebody feel something like those tunes made us feel something back in the day.
Absolutely.
That's I think about, man, one of my moments happened in college for me, and it was Alison Krauss and Union Station. They were live at the Kentucky Theater, and it was The Boy Who Wouldn't Hoe Corn, and Jerry Douglas was playing that dobro lick in the front of it, man. And bro, I sat there and listened to that song for probably 3 hours straight, just because I had no clue what was going on inside me, but something musically was inspiring something inside me to want to make somebody else feel like that, like I was feeling that night.
You mentioned Skinner. That was a heavy influence on me too. Just in the way that everything I had listened to up to that point, like nothing sounded like that, and those guys sounded like people from my hometown, you know.
Absolutely.
And I was like, man, even though I was 14 and never even tasted, you know, whiskey or any of that stuff, man, I felt like I'm out there. Ooh, that smell! I didn't even know what we were smelling. You know what I'm saying? But I knew what Simple Man and Tuesday's Gone, man, and those songs. I know what they made me feel, and even the last 8 minutes of Freebird, dude. I was like, I want to know how to do that, man. And I know everybody jokes about that tune, but I mean, when you're young and those songs were new to me, you know. They've been out at that point probably 20 years, you know. But or some of them, I guess some of them came out in the 80s, so it's probably 10, 15 years. But man, it's cool to have those. Give Me 3 Steps, man. That was one of mine, man. I loved that tune.
It was just imperfectly perfect.
Yeah,
right. There's still string slides in there. It wasn't, you know, polished to the point where there were, you know, you don't find big mistakes, but you find little imperfections. And to me, it's imperfectly perfect.
Beautiful.
Like, it humanizes them. You know, it was just, dude, I could totally get into it. It felt like you're in the room with them, and you got it.
Yeah. So let's talk about what record is this? What record is Tattoos for you?
7.
Number 7. Number 7.
Lucky number 7, baby.
Lucky number 7. Let's go.
I want to read a quote from you, and you said this. People get them for a lot of reasons, but for most of us, tattoos talk about our victories and our losses, our struggles, and the whole nine. I was one of those kids who had to learn the hard way, but if I would have listened to the advice of others, I don't know if I'd have ended up where I am. Mm-hmm. What is this record? What does it entail for you? What do you want? What do you want this record to say to BG Nation, which has been with you this whole time, man? You've built this incredible following. Like, what do you want them to get out of this thing?
Man, early in my career, once we got with a label and things started picking up, I realized that songs that I tried to write to be super commercial were not as relatable as songs that were really close to the chest. I had a different writing method. I have a different method in the studio way back in the day, and you being around for a lot of the stuff in the beginning, you'll appreciate this. Like this album is different for several reasons. One, every album I've ever released, first 6, had a title or the title track based on my faith. Right, it was something about Christianity, something about church.
Sure.
And this one's different, obviously being called Tattoos, but the reason I'm topless at 40 on Man Titty Tuesday on the cover is...
Dude, you look good.
So good, man.
You look good, man.
Well, we didn't Photoshop nothing. We didn't Photoshop
Man Titty
nothing.
Tuesday?
Yeah, Man Titty Tuesday or Monday, whatever day you feel like it being a shirts off affair.
That sounds good, too.
We got the M or the T.
Take shirt off. Come on, somebody take the shirt off.
With the cigarillo and the...
Well, it was
We'll call it a cigarillo.
Yeah, they tried to Photoshop a cigarette, instead of a joint. And I was like, just let the sumbitch be what it is.
Let it be what it is.
In a world where we can identify whatever we want to, just let that one be what it is.
Who are you looking at back? Which one of them are you looking at?
I'm just making sure she don't give me the eye like I'm running off into bad waters. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason I don't do many of these things, man, because sometimes I get to talking and joking around.
Oh, we'll clean it all up.
I ain't got no filter. I'll just say some dumb kidding.
Yeah.
And then people are like, does he really think like that?
Dude, I get...
I love that you are who you are, man, and that's what we try to be.
I get nervous every time we
get.
get done with one of these. I immediately get in the truck and I'm like, oh my god,
yeah.
What I? And I'll call Jordan and be like, hey, do we need to cut out all those things I said about the music business? Because I'm still in
it last night because they were laughing at me. Apparently, I said something about I had a husband yesterday, and we were talking about marriage.
Dude. He thought that was really funny.
Yeah,
they got Jack.
They both looked weird, and I was wondering what I was looking at. And then I got back, and I was like, and he said, "You said at one point you had a husband, didn't?" Yeah, you did. I was like, hell, maybe that'll win me a new demographic. It is 2024. Well, I mean, God forbid anything ever happened to my marriage, but the thought of being able to come home and be like, hey, what's up, dude? You want to go hunting? You want to go fishing? What you want to do today? I probably ain't gonna nobody.
Hey, I agree.
Let's go get McDonald's for dinner.
Hey, if it wasn't for about a couple of them things, man, it wouldn't be a bad deal. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
Can you imagine?
Dude, just hanging out.
Give us
there's a couple things that want to look, y'all.
This record stop. This record's called Tattoos. Give us your best tattoo story.
Best? He's got like 500, dude.
I know. Man, they all kind of turned into one.
Yeah.
This one I did, and on the title. Oh, before I forget.
Go ahead. You good.
The first 6 records also detailed. No, you're good. It detailed a chapter of my life. So if you were to listen to them chronologically, you'll have a good idea who I was, how I was feeling, what I was going through.
I love
chapter
that,
of my
man.
life.
That's great.
With this one, dude, you get married and you have kids, and to be honest with you, I've always been wanting to write songs about my life in that chapter.
Yeah.
And as much as I want to do that on every song, most people, can't fill a record. No. We saw what happened when Lone Star did it that year. It was great album.
Sure.
Radio.
Yeah.
Ran it in the ground. It was. Right. I remember I was working at a boot store at one point, and if I heard Mr. Mom one more time,
Carrot Top who can barely walk.
No, I was going to kick in the door. If y'all ever heard if y'all ever, there's a guy that did, and we all know him, that did a version of that's just awful.
I don't know if I've heard it.
Oh, no, I haven't, but I cannot wait to.
It's called Please, Darling, Don't Tell Your Mom.
Oh, I hadn't heard it.
It is awful. I'll play it.
I was about to say, who do I need to reach out to?
We'll need to. Yeah, we'll need to take some time in prayer afterwards. It is awful. But long story short, so this record we wanted to do a little different, and as opposed to chronologically telling a chapter of life, with the rules changing and streaming being king, I really wanted to have a format where we could do a little bit of everything. We had 10 songs. We got to cover a lot of ground, stylistically, and just theme wise in 10 songs. So we really put some stuff in there that was nostalgic of some of our old stuff. And my tattoos are, some of them are old, but they do what all my records before this one did. They tell my story. Mm-hmm. So the title track of the album, kind of plays a role of doing fulfilling the purpose that all the 6 records before it did. And we were able to, outside of that, go back and, kind of recapture some of that old style. We went back to writing with a guitar, and we got in the studio, did away with a lot of the digital stuff. Mm-hmm. And, it was a really cool process, man, especially for me, and I felt like kind of got back to our roots some, and we still got outside the box, did some new stuff.
Yeah. You can hear that too when you listen to this record, man. You can hear it's like new old Brantley Gilbert.
I'll tell you, man, God and Country, man, it got me, dude. That's got me, man. It got me. And look, we got the record last night, so I'm not going to sit here and act like I know every song on it, but I got to that one, I was like,
Well, I know what's awesome about that is nobody had me and Gary LaVox.
I thought when he popped
no doubt, man.
I'll be honest, don't tell him I said this, but when I first heard that little thing happen, I was like, damn, what female he got on this? And then Gary came in, I was like, that's Gary's ass.
Oh, dude, he's freaking killed.
Oh, he's a killer.
Yeah, that wasn't on anybody's bingo card.
Right.
You know what I mean? Nobody expects me and the lead singer Rascal Flatts to do nothing together. Right. But we've been friends for years, and we always said if we did a song together, we're both mama's boys. And my mom sent me some stuff. I was in some trouble at one point, and my mom sent me some stuff. And one of the songs on there was My Wish. And there were a couple other ones that were theirs. And I remember telling him that story, and he ended up calling my mom. Wow. So now we get together, we both call each other's moms, and which is dangerous because last time we did it, we were with Kid Rock. And
I don't want to.
Yeah, Kid Rock.
We'll just stop.
Dude, the minute you mention somebody's mom, every sentence after that, it's like, yeah, dude, I'll get on it tomorrow as soon as I leave your mom's house.
Yeah. Come on, kid.
That or D's nuts, you know what I'm saying? For
plenty of those jokes. Yeah.
Dude, so talented. That joke will work. So, we always said if we did a song together, it'd be one our moms could be proud of and could listen to without having to skip over the cuss words and that kind of thing. Yeah. So I wrote this one, man. It was like, hey, I think I got it.
Yeah.
So I think the deal is we got to do a banger next.
It's great. Yeah.
What he put the largemouth in the ponds and the whitetail in the woods. Yeah, so good. That's great.
Yeah,
that was written at like 4 or 5 in the morning. We were doing a retreat for a project Jelly Roll and I were doing together. Mm-hmm. We're at Lee Bryce's studio, and dude, we pretty much called who's who in Nashville and said, hey, if you got any ideas that you can't write, bring them.
Come on. Yeah.
Because there are no rules. We want the nitty gritty.
Sure.
And dude, everybody showed up in droves.
That's awesome.
It was at all times of the night. It was probably one of the funnest.
Yeah, that's cool.
Writing weeks of my life.
You did it for a week.
Oh yeah, buddy. And anytime you can get Jelly Roll tied down for a week, you think I was sick as a dog, bro. I was getting IVs every day. I had all kind of stuff going on. It lasted about 5 months, but it was worth it.
Yeah,
we got a bunch of good songs. This current radio single being one of them.
Nice. Yeah, that's fun. That song's killing.
You got any you regret? Any tattoos on you regret?
I'm kind of the opposite on that end because I got tattoos later in life that I wanted earlier and didn't have the money or the time to get.
Sure.
A lot of them my wife's not a fan of. Like I kind of weaponize Bible verses to make to be badass. Like Psalm 1441, when I got my hands says, "May the Lord my God prepare my hands for battle and my fingers for warfare," which I thought was gangster shit.
That's tough.
My wife was like, in context. I was like, context my ass.
It's my verse.
I like what this is my verse. Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to say what I want it to say.
The Bible's personal.
Yeah. And then my kids have guardian angels, both of them, and the third one will have, another clock. But I have clocks for them. Remind me, my time with them's limited. Because it's like, dude, I didn't live for longevity. I wasn't planning on being anybody's dad or anybody's husband. We were trying to make up for some lost time. But so I got their clocks, and then they had their names, and then they have guardian angels. But the guardian angels are wearing bandanas and carrying AKs.
Oh,
so my wife hates that one. She was like, angels don't carry us all,
Well, mine do.
My angels do. In my mind.
Your angels do what they want to do. My angels going to carry AKs.
This is modern warfare. They're not up there with swords anymore. No swords, no spears.
You don't bring a knife to a gunfight.
Bandanas are way tougher than halos.
Yeah, the new angel might be shooting a mounted machine gun. I don't know.
Right.
We'll see.
Riding a tank.
Have a bear at 50 cal out there. He might be going long range. You might never see that angel. He hits you from long range.
That angel's perched up on the
He's shooting from the gates, baby.
He's shooting from heaven. He's shooting down from heaven.
Him and St. Michael up there.
Sniper angels, bro. That could be a job.
Man, did we just come up with a brilliant idea?
I've got a few tattoos. This is the best story I've got on this one. So, show it. That's it right there. You can't tell, but so me and Dan started this brand called the Brothers Hunt a while back, and our first logo I just designed it on the computer was the Brothers Hunt, and the TH caught the E in the Brothers, and the Hunt was coming down from the H in the Brothers.
Okay, we get it.
So me and Jordan went to Colorado, and I always wanted to get something. We were changing our logo, but I always wanted to get something that represented our brothership, and the closeness of us. And we went out to Colorado, and Jordan found this guy that did the poke tattoos, and literally just sticking something on you, drilling it with a hammer like this. So we was in Colorado, and
Coloradoing.
Yeah, Coloradoing a little bit. And so we were up in this room, and the guy put he put it on my arm, and I was laying there, and he took it off. He's like, "How's that look?" And I didn't even look at it. I was like, "Man, it looks great, dude. Let's go." So he starts poking on me. Son, that hurts. That hurts right there. That's
never
thin.
had that.
Just pinching at that's thin right there. And he gets done, and he's like, "Go check it out, man." I go to the bathroom. I roll to the bathroom, and I'm like, "Yeah, man, I got me a tattoo." And I held it up, and I was like, "Oh no!" And I was like, "That's the way it's supposed to be.
It's upside down.
It's upside down."
Oh,
So
I just thought Jesus' right arm got heavy.
that's right, hey, and I'm glad I got the lines, because if I'd have got the Brothers Hunt, it would be upside down. So if you was to flip that over, that's the way it's supposed to be. But thank the good Lord, you can't tell. But yeah, I don't regret it. But I wish it was. I wish it could just
the right side up.
Yeah, I wish it just flipped it over. Yeah.
Leave it.
Do you got anything on your back?
I do. I took a bunch of heat for it. I was really tired of answering the question on, about where I stood on the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
So I just tattooed it across the entirety of my back. It's got amendment, and then I have two 1911 Kimbers that I have at the house. I got King Baby handles on them.
Nice.
They're the ones from the Bottoms Up video.
Yeah.
So we had them dressed up. I kept them.
They're tough.
Dude, that was so funny. The woman that was on set there, that was, I guess the safety lady, was like, "We can't have real guns." I was like, "I'm running these guns in that video."
Yeah, we can't
none
have
of that fake shit you got. Like I'm running these guns. No, sir, you can't. We can't do it. They can't be real. So I hired a gunsmith to come pull the firing pins out of them.
Yeah.
And took them to her, and I said,
they're not real now.
It's not a real gun anymore. So we used them for the videos. It's awesome, and I kept them, but I tattooed those on my back under amendment. So it's Amendment 2, and then it writes out at the bottom what it is. And the explanation for it ended up being, it's a tramp stamp, but it kind of joins.
That's all right. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
It's part of the bigger picture.
You're married. It doesn't matter anymore.
There you go.
I mean, sheesh.
Yeah. So yeah, my back's that, and I've only got a couple little places left back there, and I think for this new baby, it's gonna have to have a clock and an angel and the name.
An angel G.
Yeah.
With machine
Gangster
guns.
Angel.
Gangster Angel.
Yeah, baby.
Can we start a trio called the Gangster Angels?
That's
I
pretty
feel
great.
so tough
That's
just
pretty
sitting
great.
next to him.
That's pretty great. I know I didn't get the memo to wear black. I should have.
Dude, I thought today, I was like, who are we having on? I'm wearing a t-shirt.
You know what? It's the only way I know whatever I'm wearing is gonna match.
Everything's black.
Yeah, everything.
Man, where's your deer brain at? Where's where you at in that? Because I know you're an outdoor. I know you killed some big old Iowa deer. I know you chased them big deer, man.
Well, last few years, my deer season's kind of been shot. And this year it's going to happen again. 'Cause it looks like this baby's right around the corner.
They slow it down, don't they?
Buddy. And my oldest boy, he loves hunting. Like, he'll go with me, and dude, that's probably the funnest thing right now in my life.
Sure, man.
Okay, I'm gonna cut you off because I gotta know, because I got one coming.
That's good, dude. Cut our artist.
I'm sorry. I just gotta know. We'll get to it.
That's what we do over here at God's Country.
This feels more important. What he's talking about, taking his son.
What you're talking about?
No, what he's going to talk about when I ask him the question.
Okay.
So when you look back, I'm sure you had your non-child hunting days where you were locked in, bro. Like chasing big deer, doing the thing, the sign, the food plots, the whole all in, right? Well, obviously I know now, having 3 kids, it's like they pull the emergency brake on all of that, dude, for sure. So do you value, I know going with your son is probably like feels better to you, but do you, when you look at the 2 days, the going with your son and the chasing big deer, because it's kind of hard to really give it your all on the chasing big deer thing when you're taking your kids, man.
Right.
What's the value, and is it even comparable?
To be honest,
and
with
did
you,
I even ask that? Did I ask that question?
Absolutely.
Right?
Okay. There were a few times last year I went by myself, and I felt like I was kind of screwing him over. You know what I mean? We were chasing this deer together. I had a target buck, and man, I ended up going. I only had like 3 more days to get after him before the nickelback tour picked back up.
Yeah. So
we were in the woods every day, man. And he got up early, and he was with me in the stand in the morning and at night, and
grinding.
Man, I ended up, the wind was bad all 3 days, and we ended up pushing him on to the neighbor. And so I went to the northwest corner of our property, trying to catch him coming off the bed, cutting that corner onto the neighbor's ridge.
By yourself?
Mm-hmm. And dude, I was just sitting there, it was like, and I'd made my mind up. If I see this deer, I'm not going to shoot him.
You had already made your mind up.
I just got
sitting
down
in the stand.
And it was terrible. When I got down, I bumped a deer.
No.
And I heard a gunshot.
No.
And then the neighbor sent me a picture of him on the ground. That was Big G. And dude, we had TikToks going back where I don't do TikTok, but I'll do videos and send them to management. They'll post them. And we had TikToks out the yin yang. Barrett, where are we going? We going hunting. Who we going after? Big G. You know what I mean? That was our deer. And the neighbor brought his brother, and that was his brother's first deer, and he didn't even mount him. He just go mount him. And he was 150 inch northeast Georgia deer, which was hard to find.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's hard to find.
So yeah, man, dude, if my son can be with me,
you'll take that over.
Absolutely.
Because mine ain't going yet, like that. They're just too young. So I'm not there yet.
That being said, now there's we've got a bunch of 4-year-olds on our farm. There's one 5-year-old, maybe 2. And one's one-eyed. He's old man. That's one I'm gonna try to get him on this
warrior dog,
for his first. And here's the thing: so up until this year, I'd carry the gun and I'd shoot. So a buddy of mine, when we go to the beach in Florida, I'm not a real big fan of the beach, so I go about 45 minutes up the road from Destin, and there's a Precision Tactical.
Oh yeah.
Place up there. It's all veteran owned.
Yeah.
They're awesome, dude. And I get stuff Cerakoted there.
Cool.
Well, one of the guys there is really good at long distance stuff, and he also has kids the same age as mine. And I saw his daughter shooting, and I was like, man, I really want to get Barrett shooting this year, but I'm really nervous about pushing him towards something that, I don't want him to get scope bit.
Sure. Get scared off the bat.
Yeah, because he's got a 22 little pistol he shoots good with. He's got a 22, single round bolt that he's got. But I put a reflex sight on that just so he didn't have to worry about focus. And he could just put the dot on the target and hit it. Well, I was worried about putting a regular scope on and having him try to get too close and knocking it. And he had an idea, dude, so genius. The Pulsar makes Pulsar Thermion. Most of them are thermal scopes.
Yeah.
And they're, man, I've spent 4 times as much money on thermals that I like a lot less. I mean, it's my favorite. But they have one that's a daytime digital and then night vision.
Come on.
So what's awesome, you can Bluetooth your phone to it. So I can sit in the stand with him. This is what my buddy Ron did for his daughter. And so we built the same thing for Barrett. We built a 6'5" Grendel so it don't knock his shoulder off. And then that pulsar on top, I can keep my phone up. And when he's looking, I can, make sure he's on the right deer.
Sure.
Make sure his hold's right.
Yeah.
If it's not, like, hey, let's don't, he's up. But when he gets it on the right spot, all right, go time, buddy.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, and he went and shot, and dude, finding the target himself, he had his first shot at 100, 200, and 300 yards. And then started plinking. He was really having fun at 300 because there was a car out there. He could shoot.
Yeah.
So, then he goes, Daddy, you want to shoot one? Of course, absolutely. You know what I mean? I'm the man on the moon. You shitting me? Let's go.
Yeah, that's right.
Dude, I stepped out. The barrel was hot, and the can was hot. So it was like, I got it, though. Ain't no way I'm missing 300 yards.
Yeah. Whiffed.
Bro.
Dang.
I mean, we didn't even see the trail. We don't know where we missed it, And my son looked confused, like visibly confused. He's like, Dad, that was a miss. yeah.
That's what happens sometimes, son.
You burned the barrel up. Yeah. You done burned the barrel up. But no, it was super cool. So I'm excited about that. But that being said, so when I bought the farm in Alabama, first thing we did was we went to Auburn and Troy universities and saw what kind of data they had on deer, in their outdoor program. So I did the same thing at home. I finally found, I've been looking for 15 years for a farm, finally found it. So I went to UGA, looked through to find out who to contact. Just to get some data on, EHD numbers, that kind of
soil content.
To know the history.
Soil content, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I see a picture of a dude that I went to high school with. He's got a doctorate in wildlife management. His name's Jamey Johnson.
Wow.
And I called him, and dude, we reconnected. Hadn't spoken since high school.
That's awesome.
And I said, man, I got a farm over here. If you wouldn't mind, just come take a look at it. Kind of want to see what you think. He said, yeah, I may stop by one day this week. Dude, he stopped by the next day, and I don't think there's been a day he hadn't stopped by since. He fell in love with a place like I did. But his family farm is, man, we hunted it when we were kids. And this Saturday, so as soon as our album release show is over, I'm hauling ass back to Georgia. There's a 160-inch, 6 to 7 year old giant on his farm, and he wanted me to get on it. He wants to film it, and he wants me to shoot it. So we're going after him. We had him 60 days, daylight in 60 days, and he disappeared for 5, and he just came back day before yesterday.
Oh my gosh!
So
dang, that's awesome.
So
I feel like there's something going on because our deer are kind of the same thing. We're about to leave to go on a hunt, and I've been kind of nervous about it because our deer kind of disappeared, but they're all showing back up. They all showed back up a couple days ago, and I don't know if it's this weather system that's coming through right now or something, but it feels like big deer, old deer are back on their feet and roaming a little bit.
What we noticed at both farms, we had our bachelor groups, and our bachelor groups kind of broke into twos, and we still had some
velvet came off and
decent bucks running together. What we saw, we had, like at our farm, I had a 4-year-old drop, and that 5-year-old that's on there, he dropped. He still had velvet. The 4-one dropped. He disappeared for a few days. Came back hard. Horn was pushing everybody around. The only other thing we've seen is we had one daylighted for several days in a row last year, and this happened to JT 2 years before. There was a big buck that ran with this one when this one was a little younger, the one I'm after, and he disappeared for about 2 weeks, and he came back with his tongue out. So I think he got EXD. He went and laid somewhere and got over it, came back and recovered. So it was like, who knows where they go?
Yeah.
It's crazy, dude. On 365 acres, it's one thing. We see new deer all the time. But, dude, I'm telling you, I had a high fence that we built for veterans and kids, you know, in Alabama. It was 433 acres. And when I tell you that we had cameras on every feeder and still saw deer that we didn't see on camera on that farm, absolutely.
Isn't that interesting?
Wow, that's
It's wild. These things are, they can hide, man. We had one pop out. I love chocolate horn deer.
Same.
And I had a dude come in. We had a vet come in, and his son was with him. And we were after a specific buck. And, he's out in the field. We're just waiting on him to get a little closer. And, dude, out of the bottom walks about a 250-something inch, just chocolate horn giant. I've never seen on camera, never seen in the stand.
For real?
Never, ever.
The dude.
Well, the dude.
Yeah,
and
the
just come
guy.
walking with his head crooked.
Oh, man.
And I was like, hey, I don't know what that is, but if you won't kill it, go for it.
Eat him.
Yeah. So there was that one. And then Michael Lee went hunt with me same year, and dude, a big frame deer came out, but he was old. You know, we didn't really pay much attention because you're looking at 250, 250-inch deer.
Yeah.
A 160,
Right.
that's really framey comes out, and man, it's easy to look over him. But he walked in and out of the frame, and me and Michael Lee both looked at each other and we're like, why did we pass that deer?
Yeah.
So he came back on his way back to the bed, and Michael Lee shot him. There's no tag. It was straight up wild deer.
Really?
It was inside.
Man.
And in Michael Lee's defense, this was right before we fenced it. So we had 250s and stuff on the closed fence side. Michael Lee's not going to hunt no fence farms.
Yeah.
So we're on the open side.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you could hunt the high fence, and this side faced the outside. We had plots planted around the outside of the property line.
Yeah.
Man,
And he'd come through
160
there.
wild deer is nuts for the South, dude.
Buddy, in Alabama, I'm telling you, it was wild.
Did y'all age him? How old do you think the deer was?
He had to be 5, 6.
Yeah.
Big old gut. His back was sunk down, shoulders high, like all
Big
neck
brisket.
to chest, and shoulders was all one thing.
Yeah.
Dude, my guy knows.
Yeah.
Oh, he knows.
Real.
I know he knows.
He's real.
No, I know he knows.
He had that old hump nose. Like he was one of those where you didn't have to guess. Like you just saw him, was like, oh, that's an old deer.
Yeah, man. That
Go,
seems
man.
to be more and more what I'm after, man. I mean, there was a time where we hunted score, but man, I just like an old man now.
You feel like you done something.
Yeah. I guess as you progress as a hunter, we talk about the stages you go through all the time, and I mean, we have friends that ask us all the time, like, man, how long has it been since you killed a deer in Tennessee? And we may go 3 or 4 years, easy, because we're trying to get to that age class, and there may be a 4.5 stud walk across, but man, we just don't really get into the score anymore. I want that old,
I want that cat and mouse, man, with the dude.
I want the 4 to 5 year jump, bro, where they just turn into freaking trash cans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens at 6 again, maybe 7, and then they start down.
Sure.
Yeah, I want to go toe to toe with the baddest some in them woods.
That's what I'm talking
and
about.
usually I get beat.
we get beat a lot.
But sometimes you don't, and that's that feeling is what I chase out there.
I think
that's hunting, not killing.
Yeah,
bro.
damn right.
And that's
Yo,
what
man,
made,
if I run off pee,
No, you
No,
good.
don't do your thing.
my balls just floating.
No, you're fine, man. You good. Take your time.
Right out this door right there.
To the left. No, you good, man.
15 minutes.
Oh, you're right there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, that's perfect.
Does your kid like fishing?
Oh, loves it.
Yeah.
Which fishing was never really my thing, man. To be completely honest, like I'm kind of a fish out of water when it comes to fishing. But he stinking loves it.
Does he?
Thank God, a buddy of mine used to fish professionally, and it's kind of helped me and my son
Figure it out.
Figure it out.
figure some stuff out. But we grew up hunting a bunch, but
Yeah.
we didn't fish a whole lot.
Yeah.
I've got a 20-acre lake behind my spot in the little subdivision I live in. It's private, and so we're the only ones that fish it, man.
Nice.
And I'm more excited than me and him getting to fish it. Like my dad's out there all the time, and
He fishes it way more.
my
than we
boy's
do.
coming up, and he's gonna be out there all the time. And man, I just like some of the best memories I think about when I think about some of my favorite days on this earth, or with my dad on a boat catching largemouth all day long, man, or brim or crappie or whatever. Like I can't wait to share that with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Okay, we're rolling camera. Okay.
I think all that was good, right? All right. Well, let's
Whatever.
all right.
Am I supposed to enter?
Yeah, let's do the one that got away.
I think this is in tune. I tried real hard.
Brantley, we do this thing called the one that got away, and it could be a
I'm sure that was important, that thing you had to say. But it's the time of the show for the one that got away.
feeling himself today on the one that got
Bro,
away.
All right, sorry. I just had to show up for Brantley.
Come on,
Let
man.
that dog eat,
Let
buddy.
him eat, son.
Yeah, don't leave
Let
him hungry.
eat.
Hell, he ain't gonna get off the porch with the big ones if he ain't filled that belly. Hell,
We
That's
do,
a bulldog thing to say for sure. That's some Georgia.
we do a segment called the one that got away, and we say it could be a fish, it could be a deer, it could be a song, it could be, whatever. When the one that got away comes up to you, what do you think about?
man, my one that got away came back. and it was the best thing ever happened to me, and that was my wife.
Come on now.
You know what I mean?
Come on
We
now.
had some history. I met her. I was working some community service hours off at a church.
Why does every story start with him either being in jail or doing community service or in like some dark place?
This is a chapter, bro. This is a chapter. You know, before the age of 26, man, I don't think I'd have listened to anything but Jelly Roll.
I feel that.
You know what I mean? I was just in that spot.
Yeah, you were.
But yeah, so I had my cousin, he's a Christian counselor and therapist, incredible guy. But he was helping out with the youth group there. They were in between youth pastors, and he was helping. So, man, he would hook me up and sign out for some hours, and it helped me a lot. But her family went to that church, and man, I remember the day she walked in and seeing her for the first time and just being blown away. And dude, I ain't, you know, it'd benefit me to lie about this if it wasn't true. But if I'm lying, I'm dying, man. It was one of those things where I didn't know if it was like, oh, I saw her, I was like, oh, I'm going to marry her.
Sure.
That's the one. But I knew it was something.
Wow.
And very soon after that, I knew I wanted to marry her. And we had everything, dude. Our daughter, Braylon, we came up with her name back then.
No
Way
way.
back then.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we got a lot of history, man. But, you know, I was involved in some things I shouldn't have been with some people that I shouldn't have been around. And she was always a church girl, man. And I was honestly raised in church. I want you guys, you know, I don't ever want to be that guy that says I came up rough, this, that, and
Yeah,
other,
right.
and didn't. I didn't come up rough, man. I came up playing ball. You know, all the shit that I did that I shouldn't have was just self-destructive and by choice.
Man, good on you for being honest about that.
You know what I mean? It
for
wasn't.
sure.
It wasn't my situation.
Yeah.
My parents got divorced, but I had zero excuses to do the things I did, and man, I was kind of living against my nature for many years. And part of that was getting to the point with her where, dude, man, my drinking was really bad. I remember I wouldn't drink when I got to spend time with her. But I dropped her off, and man, by the time I dropped her off, I was shaking like a leaf. And before I got to the end of her driveway, I had a quarter bottle of Jaeger drop. And by the time I got to Athens, I was well into it. Yeah. And then I'd get to the house and, you know, set up shop. But man, you know, we got to a point where we had a conversation one night. I was involved in some things, and there was a specific situation going down where I was kind of looking over my shoulder a little bit, and I didn't ever want to, you know, have something happen where she was with me and something happened to her.
Sure.
And I had brought that up, and she said, yeah, you know, she had made mention to the fact, I guess she was looking around in my truck, and she found my old bag, and that bag had my pistol and 2 liters of liquor. You know, most time it was vodka and then either Jaeger, bourbon, or you know, tequila, but always, you know,
Carrying.
had 2. Yeah, and they were gone every 24 hours, man. No joke. And she said, you know, she said, it just makes me nervous to talk about forever with somebody that has that in a console and is doing the things that some people say you're doing. And I wouldn't lie to her. Like, I'd cop to a lot of it, and a lot of it I just stay quiet on.
Yeah.
But her mom and daddy knew hell her uncle was one of the ones I was running with.
Yeah.
So they didn't want to see each other, you know. So we split. We didn't see each other for 7 years. Didn't see or speak to each other for 7 years. And I got a call one night from my cousin, the guy that was the youth pastor. And he said, man, there's somebody you know back in the day that's going through some things, and you know, said she heard you were sober and wouldn't mind saying hello. You know, if you've had the time this week, she'll be around the house all week. And dude, we'd both gone our separate ways. She had moved on to this dude that was he was supposed to be like a youth pastor type, like, you know, in church all the time, just solid, and ended up being a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
And everybody in my town, dude, kept it secret because they knew. I mean, nobody said her name around me. They knew if I heard what was going on,
Trouble.
it was bad for him. But, you know, and I kind of thought in the back of my mind that's what they were calling me for, was to kind of handle that situation.
Clean something up.
And I was like, man, damn, y'all gonna use me like that? All right.
But all right, I'll do it. I'll do it.
But it wasn't that at all. It wasn't that at all. And I remember sitting in the driveway going, man, no matter what she looks like, at this chapter of my life, dude, really what I wanted, and this was after I was sober, what I really wanted, the dude that I was hanging around, I wanted to be a 1%er biker. and I wanted to sing music kind of on the side at this point. You know, I was really feeling biker culture, man, and I wasn't planning on being anybody's dad, anybody's husband. And I just remember sitting in Doug's driveway going, single for life, no matter what she looks like, no matter what she's going through, it don't get sucked in. We're just, you know. And dude, she walked around the corner and all that shit flew out the window. It was just like,
Come on, man, that's awesome.
It was done, dude. I remember like she walked up and she really was going through a really tough time in her life. And dude, I remember seeing her, and it wasn't no handshake or we really didn't say anything. She just kind of, you know, I just opened my arms and she kind of just fell in, and I kissed her on the forehead. And
after 7 years of not speaking,
kissed her on the forehead. And I said, "I got you."
That's real stuff.
And dude, we've been inseparable since. And
come on.
Yes, it'll be next June. Will be 10 years married.
Wow, good for you.
It blows my mind, brother. Dave. I'm telling you that wasn't on the bingo card there for a long time. You know?
Well, there's somebody upstairs orchestrating it way beyond our imagination, man.
Well, you guys have kids. I mean, dude, I don't know how somebody could ever have a child and watch that not believe.
I agree.
You know what I mean? It blows my mind.
You know, man, I'll be honest about this. Reid and I went through some times where we were raised Christian. Our dad's a Baptist preacher, so we were in church all the time. And honestly, it just kind of beat us up for a while. We just got so used to it. It just, you know, man, you just get used to it, and we kind of started blocking out whatever. Plus, it was our dad. We hear him scream all the time, so it was like, you know, just going through the motions kind of thing. And man, we got to a place where we would even have the conversation of, man, is this really real? Like, do we believe? Yeah. Why don't we believe? Is this all made up? What about all these other religions that kind of look like that? I mean, we were doing all the things, right?
Oh, yeah.
My daughter was born, and the doctor came in. I'll back up. So when the doctor came in and said, "Hey, we've been in labor for like 19 hours," and the doctor came in and said, "Hey, this baby is telling us something we hadn't been listening. We're going to start listening right now." And so we're like, "Wow, what's going on?" Well, Liza's our heartbeat was going down every time my wife would start to push. Well, it turns out she had a pretzel knot in her cord, and it was wrapped around her neck. So every time my wife would push, it would cut the oxygen off to Liza.
Oh my God.
So she didn't really explain that, but I could tell something was up, like when the doctor came in.
Dude, that makes my heart hurt.
Bro. So and that was in the middle of me and Reid kind of just being waffly about all that we believed.
He said me and Reid. I've been straight my whole life.
Come on.
The one kind of going off the beaten path a little bit.
Yeah, right. I'm about to walk into the operating room for this emergency C-section, hands to the Lord, like because I called Reid while we were standing there. I was like, "Hey man, everything I love is about to be filleted on this table in here. Like, I'll hit your knees right now and send it up. I am not playing, dude." Yeah. He's like, "I got you, dude. I got you."
I was driving to the hospital and pulled over on the side of the road and got out the truck and was just like, man, you know,
because it was that serious, and they had the procedure. Thankful for the people at Williamson over there, and everybody's fine. Mom's fine. Baby's fine. Everybody's fine. But the next day I had to go check on the dogs and the cats and everything, the chickens at the time, everything at the house, and I called Reid and I was like, "Hey, bro, I'm done. Like, I'm done even having the conversation that this isn't real, that God's love isn't real, and that my salvation, your salvation, and what we believe isn't real. I don't even want it to come into, like, I'm making a decision every single day of my life that's what I believe and that's what I'm going to live." And it's and when I have and you're right, man.
I was like, "Welcome back."
And like having I'll be honest, dude. Okay. If you don't want to take ownership in it, I will take ownership and say, you know, man, I was mid or late 20s trying to figure out, you know, what it was that I actually believed.
Absolutely.
And man, some of those cornerstone moments like that, when you see your life come out on that table and hold your hand, you know, it changes everything.
Absolutely.
Changes everything.
Yeah.
Well, my wife got me back in church. I feel like I've been going about a year now. I got out of it too for a bunch of different
honestly,
reasons. It's
same.
like, you show up to church and everybody's more concerned about you walking in than what the preacher said.
Sure.
And dude, I'm not, no shit. I walked in one Sunday morning. It was to a church that Amber and her mama went to. So to be honest with you, I was there for the wrong reasons. I was there to be seen by them, make sure they knew I was. And I rode my motorcycle and parked it under the damn front door, the thing, and walked in with my cut. And the minute I sat down, the preacher went from preaching about something completely different.
He's like, put it in every gear.
Lord done put it on my heart. I need to talk about something. And he went into, society and how music was a big part in what was leading people astray. We got people in this room. And he looked dead at me. And dude, I'm not shitting you at all. This was in a more troubled time of my life, but I stood up, I shot him 2 birds, and I walked out the double doors. And I didn't go back for a long. Literally, dude, just
I'm out.
And everybody I knew, my hometown was like, you're lost. That was absolutely just unexcusable. I was like, dude, what's
no sane human being would throw the pastor 2 birds.
You
double flipped.
You know what? That guy, man, I fight his ass in the parking lot to this day. I'm in here trying to look good, bro. Why you put my business in the street, cuz? I remember dude, I was hot and bothered. Yeah. But she got me going, and really it was on the premise of, man, it was important for me that my kids see me go to church. And the man part of our job, right, is, I watch the thing, there's a platform called the Warriors Poet Society, and there's a thing on there called the Order of Man. Yeah. And the guy's like, dude, we have 3 jobs as the husband and the father, to protect, provide, and preside. And then on the preside of things, it's not just about, reigning over the kingdom that is your home or the castle that is your home, right? So it's like to be the core of your family's faith, like,
Yeah, man.
And dude, if I tried to take credit for that, I would be telling a major lie. My wife is that in our house. Like, without a doubt, she is the center and the core of our faith. And thank God she is, man. I'm telling you, man, my wife is a soldier. She's a soldier of faith. She's just a soldier in general. But she really pushed for years, and finally, it is important to me that they see their dad go. But man, almost immediately, when I finally got over the cynical part, I mean, like not wanting to be in there, and as a musician, the first thing I'm looking at is the music.
Bro, it still messes me up.
Yeah.
It still messes me up. If I see some dude up there shredding, I'm like, man, come on, buddy.
You know what, though? You know what got me over it?
What?
I started hanging out with them, and they were looking for in-ears, and tried to help with that. They did a thing at the football stadium one day, and I went out there, and that was my way of really trying to kind of
you kind of giving back,
be involved. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So hanging out with them, and having a conversation with them, and the guitar player was one, and just the way they were speaking was like, man, I don't, kind of stay. He said, I just stay in the back. I don't really want anybody to see me, and this, that, and other. And in the back of my mind, like, I appreciated that. But it was the first time I came to terms with the fact that, hey, dude, like, to an extent, they are entertaining.
Totally.
And they have to.
Yeah, have to.
You know what I'm saying? If
100%.
everybody stands up there in mud, I don't really want to see that either. Now, there's a balance, obviously. Sure. But you know what, man? God gave them that talent.
Sure.
And they
use it to the best of your ability, man.
And have fun in faith, right? Like,
absolutely.
If we're walking by faith, right, that's supposed to be our lifestyle, right? So,
we should be able to have fun.
If we're not having fun with that, then what's the point?
Yeah, I'm with you.
You know what I mean?
Well said,
so
bro.
everything changed in the moment, and I was like, you know what? Like, lose the damn drum screen, crank these some bitches up, run them some smoke.
Let's rock.
If you want it,
Let's
I'll bring
rock.
some pyro from the truck, and we'll launch some fire in this bitch. Let's get it on.
We'll get some people saved up in this thing
Yeah,
this morning.
dude, let's get some Jesus up in here.
Hey.
So, dude, it really has been life changing. And I tell you, the coolest thing I've seen in years. We got in the truck one Sunday, and my son, I'm gonna have to be careful. Dude, I couldn't tell you the last time I cried until I had kids. We're riding down the road, and my son said, I think I want to be baptized. And, me and my wife, and he had said it a couple times before. I remember the first time he said I missed it. Missed everything. But, she had told me about it on the phone. That was the first time I'd heard him say it. And I was like, all right, well, buddy, let's talk to Pastor Nick and see what's up. But, man, I'm really proud of you for wanting that, wanting Jesus to come live in your heart. And sorry, I didn't say that. He said, I want to be baptized. I want Jesus to live in my heart. And dude, it was incredible. So the next Sunday, I reached out to the pastor. I said, hey, man, my little man's talking about salvation, get baptized, but I want to make sure it's not.
Right.
Just, he said, absolutely, bring him out of office. So after the sermon, we went to his office, and, dude, he asked Barrett some serious questions, and my son knew what he was talking about.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And he was like, he told me and Amber at the end of it, he said, y'all, and, dude, I was tearing up the whole time, and he said, guys, he said, he knows what he's talking about. He understands it, and I think this boy wants to be baptized. Dude, Baptism Sunday, they usually do a pretty good job of trying to keep us safe and where we can enjoy church, but, man, we just got in line, and they let him go first, and, man, they're just seeing him hop in that. There's a little metal tub in this church.
Have I seen this?
Yes. I don't ever post things like that.
I thought it was online.
But, dude, it was so powerful.
It was powerful. Even that video was powerful.
That's awesome.
When he got in the water and he started talking to him, and man, just my heart just kind of cramped up. And I just remember putting my hands like this. As I'm in front of God and everybody, and this is, I still live in Georgia where I grew up. And, I know a bunch of people in there, and I'm like, God, I'm in here like a bitch.
My tattooed ass over here crying.
God almighty. But, dude, I don't know how to explain it. It fixed for a few moments, man, it fixed everything in me that was broken. It was a whole, I don't know how to explain it.
I think you did.
Yeah, I think you
did a pretty good job.
You know what I mean? It's just the one moment in my life that I knew I was, I felt like I'd done something right, and then I came to terms with it. Damn, I realized I didn't do a whole lot. My wife kind of led that charge, and it also kind of showed me that, hey, man, I'm busy, and I'm providing, and I'm damn sure protecting.
Sure.
But am I presiding?
Right.
My wife led that charge. Do I need to step my game up? And, I cuss like a sailor, dude. To this day, I hang with a rough crowd. I will to the day I die. Those my people.
Yeah.
Hey, God knows your heart, bro.
You know what I'm saying? I really do believe that.
I do too.
Amen, dude.
But you know what? That's who he was hanging out with too. That's who Jesus was hanging out with.
We had this conversation with Jelly Roll. He was like, hell, his first miracle was turning water into wine. Jesus was a party animal.
Right.
I was like,
get the party started.
Okay.
All right, man. Maybe your Jesus is.
Oh, man, that's great. Thanks for sharing that. That's great.
Yeah,
man.
that's powerful,
That's great.
man, for real.
All right, I could do this forever. Let's do Graverett song, greatest/favorite tune for you, man.
For me, so there's a lot of old songs that I think of, obviously, for reasons that they've earned their stripes through the years and they're tried and true. But dude, I really I feel like, well, there's an honorable mention.
Okay.
We talked about it earlier.
Okay.
The song that Josh Phillips wrote by himself, 100% Cody Johnson cut.
Shout out
Come
Josh
on,
Phillips.
man.
Love that guy.
Absolutely. Dirt Cheap.
Come on.
Is something I haven't heard in a very long time.
Yeah.
Just went #1 last week. Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
I was so freaking proud of him.
Yeah, man.
And dude, you don't get away with songs like that anymore.
That's
And
right.
it was
That's right.
So, dude, I mean, hats off to Kojo too for not really taking a chance on that one, but being willing to go with a song like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's a real one, man.
Yeah, he changed.
Both them
He
dudes
changed Josh's life with it, and I'm
Yep.
sure it'll change his career.
Yeah, man,
for
for sure.
the better. He's a solid dude, by the way. I didn't know what to think of him at first.
Who?
Cody Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
He's because you don't know. We never know.
No,
right?
sure,
you
you
never
never.
know.
Dude, we went over to his bud. We parked next to each other by the hotel one night, and ended up going over there to hang. And dude, I'm a fan of that guy.
Yeah.
I really do. He's one of the new guys that I can really with.
Yeah, man.
But that being said, I feel like the greatest country song of our generation, and I'm a fan of this dude too, but I feel like it's In Color by Jamey Johnson.
Nobody said that one yet, have they?
No, that's a new one.
All right, dude. Is it too early to get a verse chorus in or no?
I mean, that's up to y'all.
we'll
we
help
can
you
run
with
it and y'all can cut it. You know,
we'll
if it's
help you
real
with it
bad.
if you good.
I mean, I don't know if I can channel my inner Jamey Johnson.
I'm not asking you to do it. What is it? What is the freaking first word?
What's the first words?
Well, I said, Grandpa, what's this picture here? Black and white. It ain't real clear. Is that you there? I was 11. Am I on?
I said, Grandpa. Yeah,
Is it there?
I said, Grandpa, what's this picture here? It's all black and white. It ain't real clear. Is that you there? He said, yeah. I was 11.
Dude's a singer, man.
When times were tough back in 35. It's me and Uncle Joe just trying to survive a cotton farm and a Great Depression. And if it looks like we were scared to death, like a couple of kids just trying to save each other, should have seen it in color.
I got chill bumps over my whole body, dude.
Yeah. Pictures worth 1,000 words, but you can't see what those shades of gray keep covered. Should have seen it in color. Right there, come on with it.
What a killer,
Let's
man.
go.
What a song.
Well, you
dude.
think about what we try to accomplish in
song.
country music, right? Is you want to tell a story. Like that's trademark country from way back. Definitely tells a story. We want to paint a picture.
Yeah.
There is no better picture. I remember hearing that song and being like,
Me too.
you know, that's the song. I feel like every songwriter in this town was like, man, shit, why didn't I write that?
A picture's worth 1,000 words, but you can't see what those shades of gray keep covered, man. Should have seen it in color. That's killer, bro. That's a
He
good
wrote
one.
that by himself.
That's
Who
a
he
good
wrote that
one.
with? You know?
I don't know.
I don't either. I don't
That'd
know
be
who it
worth
is.
looking up.
Yeah.
He's a killer, dude. I mean, to this day,
He's got some stories.
to this day, vocally, they ain't nobody to mess with Jamey Johnson.
No.
Yeah, he's a dog too.
I love Jamey.
Jamie's a
And what you see is what you get.
I've heard
yeah,
that.
ain't no doubt.
I've never met him, but I've
He's
heard
got a
that.
side to
James
him.
Otto and Lee Thomas Miller.
That's right. James Otto.
James
Okay.
Otto. That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Man.
That's a good one. That's a
I
good one.
do feel like, man, if I think about all the country songs of our generation, that one just stands in a league of its own.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, you're cool as hell, man.
I appreciate it, bro.
you
Y'all
really
cool
are.
as hell.
You really are. Now you are.
Used to be a dickhead. You all right now?
I wasn't going to say it, dude. I didn't say that.
Hey, man, thanks for hanging out with us today out in God's country. BG, thanks for coming on, man. Thank y'all for making this happen back there beyond the camera. Hey, we love y'all. Appreciate y'all hanging out.
Let me just get a real quick thing in, man. I'm being honest with you. I know your walk, and I know your decision to be sober and to be a dad and to be a husband. And I've seen it. I've watched it. And man, thank you for being honest about it. And even just coming in here and you know, him hauling with it. I mean, we're not serious cats, and you're not either. But I'm gonna tell you something, man. You have an inspiring story. And you're an inspirational human. You're going to change. You've already changed lives. You're going to continue to change lives. And thank you for being open about that.
Absolutely, bro.
I mean that seriously.
Hey, y'all too, man. I appreciate y'all having me. This was a lot of fun.
Cool, man.
I hope we do it again.
I hope it's
We'll
not
have
the
you
last time
back.
we see
Yeah,
you.
we'll have
do
you
it.
back.
Yeah, for sure.
We love y'all. Thanks for hanging out in God's country. We'll check you next time. Peace.